So we got the Gazette Blinding Hope live video released. I haven't seen it yet. I'm like, I wonder if I should try reacting to it. I'm not sure because, like I said last stream, everything gets blocked. But I was considering trying just do reaction anyways. But Japanese band The Gazette has released a live performance of Blinding Hope on their YouTube channel. It's for the 20th anniversary performance. And the recording took place during the band's live 2021 demonstration experiment, Blinding Hope. The show was first performance of the Gazette in 2 years. I didn't realize that it had been 2 years. So that's pretty awesome. The song is the lead track from the Gazette's 10th album, Mask. Check it out if you guys haven't yet. It's really good. Available as a CD and exclusive additional English. And what is this Ramaji lyric translations book? Ramaji. I'm pronouncing that weird.
That's
Japanese
like how you
spelled out with
out.
English.
Yeah.
That's how you what?
It's Japanese spelled out so we can read it, but it's still a Japanese
It's
word.
phonetically. It's phonetically.
Yeah,
for English readers.
Do you think that would help? Like to actually go through like that? They learn Japanese?
Yeah.
No,
I don't.
I can tell you what the word means.
Well, I mean, for pronunciation, like when you're learning your characters.
It's just pronunciation. Okay. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, it just
though.
tells you how to sound it out.
That's what I mean. Like that's pretty helpful.
Well, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it would probably help as you're like in the midst of learning it, but you still need all the other like structural, like
of course. But half the
things in
battle is
different places.
pronunciation. Like I think for
the
me,
accent too. I mean, just pronouncing it like a white person doing it,
Yeah.
it still sounds wrong. You got to get that like sort of I don't know. You got to make your mouth move in the right way.
Yeah, exactly. Real quick, but I don't know. You guys gonna check that out during the week? I think it'd be a cool song to check out.
I watched it already today.
Yeah,
oh,
same.
well, tell us what you
In
thought about it,
preparation.
man. What did you think?
Wave, go ahead.
Well, I watched it while I was working out. It was a pretty good song to work out to because it started out really, slow and epic, but what the heck did I just say? It
I
started
don't know
out
what
slow.
you just said. What the fuck? Are you all right?
I wasn't expecting to talk about it.
Speaking
I
of
was like,
slow, no,
well-
I was kidding.
The hell do you watch it for?
I'm kidding. Maybe you should go first.
I just
Ryan.
wanted to know what you guys were talking about.
I also love how immediately nervous Wave gets randomly when somebody asks him a question, even though he spends all of his time like
You said you were going to
talking
prepare.
on a camera anyway.
Dude, but I need to be prepared. Like that's why I'm always
gave
on
it to
Alan.
you.
Like, what are we talking about this? I know. And I watched it and I still can't talk. But, no,
I didn't.
that's why
I didn't even
always-
watch it, but I'll talk about it right now. Let's go.
Promise you, Wave, I will have all the articles ready for you by the end of Friday because I got to wait for the week to go to see what the news.
Oh
is
yeah,
come
yeah,
out. Yeah.
That makes sense. No, I'm not drinking yet. I promise.
All right, so I liked it. It's a pretty good song, but I found myself after a few minutes like skipping through because I kind of knew where it was going. I don't want to like dump on it or anything. It was, it wasn't bad, but it could have been probably about 2 minutes. It was like a 6-minute song. It probably could have chopped off 2 minutes. It would have been fine.
Would have been perfect.
But, that's just like one tune. I imagine, it's probably with more context, it'd be like a big build-up song or something like that. So, but I liked it. I liked the solos. I liked the vocals a lot. So, yeah.
Just nothing reinventing the wheel.
No.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I can't remember which song that was, and I didn't watch that live one yet. I was going to watch it after this, but I'll check it out right now. I can't remember which one because there was one song that was like old school to Gazette, but was near the end of the record, and I think it said on here which track it was on the record. I think it was the last song. It was the last song that I wasn't a fan of on that entire album, but the rest of the album I really enjoyed.
How many tracks are on that? What did they say? Track 10?
I think it's 10. So if they said track 10, that's probably the one that's more Gazette sounding. And that's what I'm not a fan of. I was actually more of a fan of the other ones because they're like different. They were like
What would
more
you
of my
consider? What would you consider to be like Gazette sound? Like what genre? Like
it was more. I guess I had more like interesting key change. It wasn't like typical. You couldn't predict what was going to happen like you can normally do with Gazette songs. Like Ryan was just talking about. I think he was able to predict that one, and I think that's the song that I wasn't a fan of. And it was very well produced. Like all the songs were really well produced, and I even think that song was well produced too. But it was more on the visual key side It was more like, okay, I know what's gonna happen, kind of thing. It's like personal
I
preference.
skipped like where I thought the solo might be, and that's right where it was.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
This kind of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It reminded me a lot of like a Killswitch Engage with less intricate riffing.
Yeah.
I like Killswitch.
Yeah,
I'm
I
a
love
Killswitch
Killswitch
guy.
Engage.
Yeah. But without the riffing, I guess it's not as great.
Yeah, but it's one song, so yeah, there's.
Yep. Wave, what did you think of the song? Did you
Now that
come
you
up with
mention
something?
Like, now that you mention it, I did start listening to the album that we talked about last week, Mass, was it?
Yes.
And like, I really liked the fusion of sounds with like the metal and electronic and the cool sound effects and stuff. And then the one I watched this morning, it didn't feel the same to me.
It
like
doesn't.
you guys were talking about. It was more like straight up metal, you know?
Yeah, because
Seems like an
that's
odd one
the
to put out,
traditional Gazette sound, I think. But the album is really good. Like, I just no denying
with
it.
that.
It's
I liked what I
Mass.
heard.
It's really good.
You know, I wonder if that has to do with just like the promo. You know, this often happens from like what from my experience. I think that most of the time the bands release like big music videos or whatever, like especially when they're promoting something large, like a big reunion or like this 20-year anniversary. I think they usually go with that song that is like the most mainstream appealing one. That's the most like sort of covers what they are as like, you know, an entity or whatever, and they veer away from the ones that are being the more experimental or whatever. So
I agree.
You know, whenever they come out with it, it's even like you know, go to Bandmate. Like, I love the song Manners, but for example, you know, Manners made a lot of sense to put out first because it's probably the most simplistic song on the whole Unseen World album.
Right. It'll appeal to the most people.
Exactly. So like that's probably what they're doing right here, and I assume that you know, with the rest of the stuff, it's just gonna, if they do release other music videos, then it'll probably be like, you know, the better songs after the first one.
That was a clip from our live stream. Make sure you go check that out right now, right here. See you.